Hello and welcome to your messages for the week. Today is Sunday, the 8th of December, 2024. It's a holiday here in Spain, even though it's a Sunday anyway. They don't do that thing here where if a holiday falls on a Sunday, you take the Monday off. It doesn't happen here. But a lot of people, it was a holiday on Friday as well. And I noticed that a lot of the shops were shut yesterday. So they take what they call a puente, which is like a bridge. So they have like two holidays close to each other and then take the days off in between. So they don't lose out. They are good at having their fiestas, I have to be honest. Okay, so welcome to your messages for the week. Um, a quick reminder, as it is Sunday, tonight at 7 p.m. European time, 6 p.m. UK time, Liz and I will be connecting on Zoom for our free online Tarot and Beyond call. The Zoom link is in the description and everybody is welcome. I will be pulling a full Celtic cross spread and then we will discuss any interpretations and any meanings, any wisdom that comes through, any guidance that comes through, any intuitive messages that come through. Because of course, cards do have their traditional meanings, but also most card readers are intuitive. And so everybody will be receiving their own intuitive message, which will apply to their life or the life of the person that they're reading for. So it's always good fun to discuss that wisdom that comes through, the intuitive messages that come through, and to share them, and to also take that discussion into how we can apply spiritual wisdom to our everyday life in this physical realm, because I think that's an important point as well. Talking about applying higher knowledge to the physical realm, check out December's messages, which were all about your role as a light worker. So a lot of people are discussing life at the moment as being an emotional roller coaster. A lot of people having ascension symptoms and stuff like that. I'm just going to have to pause just for a sec. Sorry about that. The dog was stressing about something. We were talking about the December messages and your role as a light worker and the ascension symptoms, the emotional roller coaster. And it was all about the fact that if you're watching this video, you're obviously a light worker, way shower, guide, or whatever we want to call it. And we're very sensitive. We're sensitive energetically. And so we do feel, and we feel our humans' emotions, of course, but we also pick up on ancestral stuff, cultural stuff, collective stuff. And why do we do that? We do that because we have the tools, we have the ability, we have the understanding and the knowing to process those emotions and transmute them into love. Because people living in the real density, I will just refer to the Map of Consciousness by Dr. David Hawkins, which, as you know, I love. Those that are kind of in the lower levels of that chart, that are living in fear, they don't have the understanding or the tools to process that fear. And then that fear and anger and grief and depression and guilt and shame and all these emotions that we find in the density, rather than transmuting them into love and raising the consciousness level of the collective, they are feeling those emotions from a place of contracted victimhood. And what that does is it will recreate, because we create from the inside out, right? As within, so without. So that fear that they feel, they will create more fear. The guilt and shame that they feel, they will create more guilt and shame in the world. The depression that they feel, they will create more depression in the world. You see, that's how it works. But because you have this understanding, you have this knowledge, you have this sensitivity, and it's coming to you for a reason, you can feel the sadness, feel the grief, feel the fear, feel the anger, and there could be guilt and shame, all sorts of things, whatever it might be, but you can feel it from an expanded state of awareness. You can hold space for the whole collective or your ancestral line or your local community, or your immediate family, it doesn't matter. It's what comes to you. And you can hold space from that expanded state of awareness that you are love. And when you do it with an open heart and that level of consciousness, you transmute those lower feelings into love because you are the love. And what you observe, right, the observed takes on the frequency, takes on the judgment, okay, takes on the perceptions, however you want to view it. I don't know the real quantum physics terms for it, but what's being observed will take on the level of consciousness of the observer. So you are the observer. So activate everything you know, all of who you are, feel that emotion from that level of consciousness, from that expanded state of awareness, from that open heart of knowing that you are love, and you transmute that into love. It's good, isn't it? It's cool, isn't it? I mean, that when you understand how it works, it helps you transmute that emotion quicker, of course. And how you transmute it. I mean, we have the tools, right? We've got the emotion code, we've got the brain integration, we've got the tapping. And if you don't have tools or you feel like you don't have the tools, please check out my self-healing techniques and my lessons in awakening on this channel. So much free content there to help you process these emotions, understand your emotions, understand why it's important to process these emotions, and all sorts of other things about our thoughts and forgiveness and willingness and all sorts of other things. So there are tools there. I've got a video on the tapping and on the emotion code, on the brain integration. So all these self-healing tools are here for you to learn and enjoy and work with as your role as a light worker. So yeah, I got a bit carried away again there, didn't I? So obviously it's a theme for December. So yeah, check out. I'll put the video in the description and the I'll put a link in the description and the video in the end screen. Okay, cards for this week. There is something else I want to share. Something came to me the other day. It was the answer to a question. I have so many questions. It was the answer to a question. Why do we, as humans, in our human experience, forget who we really are when we come in? Because we know that children don't really forget, do they? Because very young children are still talking to the spirit world, aren't they? A lot of them still remember their past lives. They're very connected, aren't they, to source still? So it's around the age of 7 that which is a significant age for a number of reasons. But it's around that age that children start forgetting. Now, in the old days, parents would tell children, oh, don't be so silly, there's no one there. You're talking to yourself. And they would shut down that intuitive ability, that psychic ability of talking to the non-physical world. Now we understand that they are talking to the non-physical world, right? Whether it be passed over loved ones, their spirit guides, whoever, right? So the mums and dads now of the young kids, they're light workers because they're now nurturing that spiritual ability within children. And encouraging them to maintain that connection with the spirit side, which is powerful. That's really powerful in itself. But anyway, we do in society, in schools, in our human experience, we do forget who we really are. And a lot of people ask the question, why? Why do we forget? And the answer is normally, because it's fun to remember who you are. But here's another answer to that one, is that our reality, what we're seeing as our human experience, what we're seeing in our human experience is a reflection of our perception of our human experience. And if we came in knowing, if we knew that we were enlightened, if we knew that we were light, if we knew that we were fractals of source, then we would reflect that back to ourselves and we would already be enlightened and we would already be living in heaven on earth, wouldn't we? So we have to forget who we really are, because otherwise there wouldn't be a journey. there wouldn't be a physical realm journey, would there? Because we are enlightened beings. We come in as enlightened beings, and our reality is created from that. So we would be born into perfection and heaven on earth already. And we would, from birth, be in an enlightened state. So, like, what's the point of the game? So, we have to forget in order to understand for our perception. So, our perceptions are being reflected back to us, which is why I love the map of consciousness, because we kind of work our way up the map of consciousness, don't we? Um, so, that made sense to me because the way that you think about your physical experience is actually what's creating your physical experience. Your consciousness, your awareness of who you really are is what's your awareness of who you are is creating your reality of who and your role in it. So if you think that your reality is only physical, then you will be having only a physical experience. If you're aware that you're a multidimensional being, then your reality will reflect that and you'll have a multidimensional experience. When you are fully aware that you are an enlightened being, you will have an enlightened reality. But we have to believe it. Anyway, that came to me. I thought it was uh, quite interesting. Okay, let's have a look what cards we have for this week. 3 cards have come out, they're face down. Let's dive in. Here we go. So I think this is following on from December's messages. Of course, we're in December. And he is crying over spilt milk. He's mourning, he's grieving, he's focused on the negative emotions. Cups are water sign, they represent emotions, they represent our intuition, spirituality, creativity. But here it's very much representing our emotions. And the fact that they've fallen over shows us that they are negative emotions. The fact that he's mourning and grieving shows that they're negative emotions. So it's actually beautiful. It's what I was just saying about the December cards. He's focused on feeling this grief, but rather than put himself in victimhood and go, woe is me, poor me, I've lost this, I've lost that, nothing's working, I feel so sad. My life is, awful, blah, 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 blah. Rather than focusing on that, he's able to feel these emotions, turn around, and here is the love coming in. So the cups are standing upright, so they represent positive emotions. So this is your love and your joy, peace, harmony, whatever else. They're full of all those lovely high frequency feelings. And so he needs to feel these with an understanding that he is living in a state of this. So it's not just a feeling. It's like on the map of consciousness, you get to the level of love. That isn't just a feeling. I love my dog, or I love pizza, or I love walking on the beach. I love my husband. I love whoever. It's not just a feeling. That level 500 on the map of consciousness is a state of being. It means that you are vibrating at that frequency. So everything in your reality is vibrating at that frequency, which means everybody that comes into your life is going to represent love. Everything you see, everything you observe, everything that you feel is going to represent love. And this represents love as well, even if you're feeling those lower emotions, but you're doing it from a state of love. That's what I was saying before about the December messages. I won't keep going on about it because I can go off on one, can't I, about those, the way that this is the message coming through for December. So yes, I'm not surprised that this is coming up. So what's lovely about this card is that these positive emotions are what's taking him to the bridge, and the bridge is what's taking him to the castle, which in tarot represents your goals in life, whatever your goals may be. So being in that expanded state of awareness with an open heart of love, unconditional love, love and compassion for everything and everyone. It's powerful. That's what processes these emotions on behalf of the collective. It's what heals you. It's what's going to heal your family. It's what's going to heal the collective. It doesn't mean that everything's going to end up being perfect, perfect, perfect. It means that we are going to be living in a state of love and appreciation and gratitude. And that frequency is going to take us to the next level of our life purpose. It's going to take us to the next level of our creation, our human experience. We're going to be able to live in abundance of joy, health, happiness, doing what we love with who we love, where we love, when we love. I mean, it's just, this is how we create heaven on earth. This is how we create heaven on earth, everything falling into place. I think these cards came up for the December as well. So I'm not surprised. This is the luckiest card in the deck, physical action in the physical world, which stems from this level of emotional intelligence, I want to say. Everything falling into place. They're like arrows, aren't they? And there's that lovely idea, isn't there, that the arrow has to be pulled back before it can shoot off forwards. So this is a little bit like our arrows are having to be pulled back. We need to like come back, reflect, feel, sit in the stillness, sit in meditation, however you want to do it, feel into it, come back, okay, in order to fly forward. Okay. And when we do come back like that, it's like a little rebirth, isn't it? When we do that, it's like a little cleansing, a healing, because what we're doing when we transmute those emotions, we're raising our frequency, of course, because the negative emotions are vibrating at a low frequency. And by transmuting them into love, which is a high frequency, we're basically overall making our frequency higher. And of course, we are the whole universe in one human being. So we just cannot help but make the frequency of the collective higher. And that's the name of the game, right? So it's beautiful. And this is physical action in the physical world. It's passionate, it's fire, it's transformational. So this is where our transformation comes. So these are opportunities coming in. Obstacles and delays have been removed. So these are your obstacles and delays. They've been removed. And things are falling into place now. New things, new activities are coming in. New people are coming in. New ways of thinking, new ways of doing, new ways of believing are coming in for you to act upon. You're having opportunities and offers to act upon this higher level of consciousness that you have, this higher frequency that you're moving into is bringing you higher frequency reflections for you to enjoy and to grow even more from, and to find more peace, more harmony, more abundance, more health, and more of all those lovely, lovely things in life. Oh my goodness me, perfect. Look, we end with the strength card. Oh, I've got truth bumps there. We end with the strength card, which is a major arcana. She actually represents Christ consciousness. I got a bit excited then, hang on. She represents Christ consciousness. And that's exactly, if we keep doing this process and we keep understanding what's going on, we find that the tools that we use in order to process these emotions, okay, there's lots of different tools, okay, depending on where you're at, how you're thinking, because you get to this level where the tool to clear away any of that density is just your thinking, because you understand that the first of the Hermetic principles is the principle of mentalism. Everything is built on our beliefs. Your reality is a mirror of your perceptions of life, your perceptions of who you are, who other people are, your perceptions of everything that you're observing in your life. How you perceive them is actually what's creating them. I think I said that before, right? So the tools that you need in order to process this, in order to go to the next level of everything falling into place in your life being beautiful and blissful, regardless of what's going on around you, okay? The tools that we need in order to do that will be changing because your beliefs are changing. If you believe in affirmations and the power of words, that's one of my videos, I'll put a link into that. then you can use affirmations as a tool. You know, if you work with the brain and the connection with the neuro pathways, and if that's your interest, then use the brain integration activities that will resonate with you. If it resonates with you and you believe in it, then it will work for you. If you don't believe in it, it won't work for you. So that's why I think understanding emotions, when I'm teaching the emotion code, the most important thing isn't just teaching the method of how you can release your trapped emotions. It's actually about teaching how and why it works and the importance of it. Because when you understand how and why, then you believe it. And it's your belief that's making it work. So then when you know that you can release these things and you can shift and change your outside reality, you by shifting and changing the thoughts and beliefs you have and your perceptions about your reality, then you can just literally sit in silence and release thoughts. You know, I'll put a link in as well to the detaching from your thoughts, because that's really relevant, I think, as well. So you have a thought and then you do the Byron Katie. Is it true? Does it have to be true? I mean, in a way, nothing's true. But in another way, everything's true. Because if you believe it, then it's true for you, but it doesn't have to be true for anybody else. And if other people are creating unpleasant situations, unpreferred situations, because they are caught up on a belief, you don't have to believe that belief. They might jump up and down trying to get you to believe that belief. And you can observe them in their suffering, but you don't have to believe what they believe. You can't change what they believe. You can only love them, right? And they, fortunately, can't make you believe what they believe. You just love yourself and sit in that place of love, because you won't be creating suffering. Even if there's perceived suffering going on around you, you can still perceive it from that level of adversity helps us grow. Suffering is our path to enlightenment. You can put those beliefs on it, which keep you in that expanded state, doesn't it? That's the Christ consciousness. Keeps you in that expanded state while you're observing something. You can observe suffering in your own life, in your family, in your community, in the collective. But it doesn't have to cause suffering within the cells of your own body. It doesn't have to cause contraction in the cells of your own body, because you're observing it with a belief that suffering brings enlightenment, that we all learn and grow. If you have an emotional trauma, you're going to grow. Whether you grow spiritually or whether you grow a tumor, the choice is yours. Bernie Siegel, Love, Medicine, and Miracles. So this is Christ consciousness. And the other meaning of this card is that she is taming the lion, and she's taming the lion through love, not through force. That's a nice little reminder there. And if we want to help other people grow, we need to do it through love and not through force. And if we want to grow ourselves into that beautiful place of love and enlightenment, then we need to do that through love, loving ourselves and accepting ourselves where we're at with what we're doing, and just make choices from a place of self-love. Make choice. Everything in life is a choice. And we have infinite choices in every now moment. So feel into the choices and choose the one. Choose the action, choose the thought, choose the feeling that is most loving to you and your own heart. Because you can feel in your heart, can't you? You know, if you take a course of action that isn't in alignment with your divine truth, you're going to feel a bit contracted, or you might feel a bit fearful, or you feel that. So when you're making your choices, it's about making conscious choices and make self-loving choices, that whatever you're thinking, whatever you're saying, and whatever you're doing, make sure that they're in alignment, and make sure that they are coming from, they are a choice that is keeping you in that expanded state of feeling of love, love for yourself. And that sounds selfish, but it isn't selfish, of course, because as your frequency rises, as you maintain that level of love and peace in your heart, you are creating it outside of you, because your reality is a reflection of your frequency in your heart. If you're keeping love and peace in your heart and observing suffering on a larger scale as being some kind of blessing, look back in your own life at the times that you've suffered, and you already know that you grew spiritually, you grew in strength from that suffering. It changed you, it transformed you, it made you a better person, it made you a stronger person, it made you a more self-loving person, or a more loving person, a more forgiving person, a more conscious person. So when we look at suffering, we can see it as a gateway to love, to a higher level of love. So when you perceive it like that, you don't go into contraction. You stay in the love, but still observe it from that level of love, from that level of understanding. And that is what is going to shift the suffering in this world into heaven on earth. And it's all happening through you. Some people think life happens to them and that they are a victim of their circumstances. Then, when we become in the level of love, we believe that life is happening for us, it's happening for our benefit. Even the suffering, even the trauma, we're always looking for the benefit, the blessing in disguise, the cloud with the silver lining. We're looking for the good in everything because we understand that life is happening for us, not to us. But now we've moved into an area, into a level of consciousness where we understand that we are the creators of life, that consciousness is flowing through us, and life is a reflection of our consciousness, of the consciousness that's coming into us, the thinking, the feeling, and the actions that are happening through our human being. That is getting reflected back to us. So we are the creators of life. And life is happening through you. You are life. You are the catalyst for manifesting the physical world. Your consciousness is non-physical. It comes through your physical vessel, which translates that level of consciousness into physical form, which is why we're all having a different physical experience in our human life, right? But having said that, there are collective similarities, agreed? That's because we have a lot of collective beliefs. So if we want to shift any of the collective manifestations, we need to work together, right? And we need to believe that we can do that. And that's what we're doing. Powerful, powerful. So this is a powerful week. What a beautiful 3 cards, because we've got this memory that we are transmuting the lower frequencies, the density, understanding that everything is falling into place, and things in the physical world, physical action in the physical world with passion, right? Motivation, being assertive, it's those arrows going back and then firing forward. So some real action going on here in order to tap into our own level of Christ consciousness, in order to tap into our own inner strength. And our inner strength is the love that we are. That's what it is. Our inner strength comes from the love that we are. Wow. Wow. Now, it's very difficult in tarot to use time, because time is an illusion only in the 3rd and 4th dimension, right? Doesn't exist at Christ consciousness levels, right? Fifth dimensional levels of consciousness, time, this timelessness. Um, but sometimes I sometimes look at a time marker. I look at these major arcana as the zodiac sign that they are. And of course, the strength card is Leo. Um, and Leo is in the summer. So I just want to say that between now and the summer, that's half a year, right? 6 months, I think we're going to look back and see that our lives, our thinking, our level of consciousness, and therefore the the consciousness of humanity, and therefore the manifestation of that higher level of consciousness. I think it's going to really show us. We're going to see it in 6 months' time. We're going to see things in the collective, in our communities, in our own lives. We're going to see things that tell us, oh my God, we are living at a different level. We are living at a more loving, more joyful, healthier, more abundant life. Yeah, yeah, at a different level of life. A different level of life. Wow, powerful card. I love it. This infinity sign does show fortune as well, because when we are expressing who we really are and aligning with our divinity in that way, then our divine abundance is ours, isn't it? Infinite possibilities as well. Wow. Wow. There is, I don't know whether it's a mountain in the background, but it does, at a glance, it looks a little bit like a pyramid. I'm not going to go off on one about the pyramids, but I do feel to say, and I will put a link in the description to Robert Edward Grant's work, because he has done a lot of work on the pyramids and their history and how they're created and their role in the awakening of humanity. It's super, super interesting. So if you're interested in all of that, check out the link in the description for Robert Edward Grant's work on the pyramids. I just wanted to add that. That just came to me intuitively. So somebody wants to hear that message, probably me. I'm going to check out his channel again. Okay, fantastic. I love it. I love those cards. Brilliant. God, I feel really motivated this week. I hope you do as well. Thank you for getting to the end of the video. I might see some of you tonight at the Tarot and Beyond, but if not, I will see you in the next video. So bye for now. Have a fantastic week.